The Darnell Nurse thing that went down last night was bonkers. Pittsburgh is not giving you 12th overall in a trade for Darnell Nurse. I would argue as well, because this was the easy one. And you know what? Some of you might not like this. Tristan Jarry has 3 years left at $5.3 million. Darnell Nurse has 6 years left at $9.25. One of them is a bad goalie making a lot of money.
Yes.
The other one is an overpaid defenseman. There is a massive difference here. And I get that one of them makes 9 and the other one makes 5. The second you trade Darnell Nurse for Tristan Jarry, you save $4 million. Liam, are you replacing Darnell Nurse for $4 million?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
A overpaid defenseman, if that's what you view Darnell Nurse as, you're justified. It is what he is. He's also still an NHL defenseman. Still a borderline top 4 D man.
Scored some big goals in the playoffs.
Scored some big goals. Had some struggles, though,
totally.
to be fair.
Yes.
But, like, he's still a borderline top 4 defenseman.
Yes.
Tristan Jarry, I don't believe is an NHL goalie anymore. We know what it's like, Jack Campbell, to be strapped with a goalie who can't play at the NHL level. You're just signing up for dead cap space. Mm-hmm. Or he's sitting on your bench and you're wincing every time he goes into the game. He does not solve your goalie problem, and it does not solve your cap problem, because you need to go trade and find a replacement for Darnell Nurse. And that's going to cost you more than the $4 million you saved. You're not better. Like, let's even do a exercise here where, okay, they freed up $4 million and they're going to run with Jarry and Skinner as their 2 goalies next year. So you go and with your savings, you take some of the extra money and you sign Ivan Provorov. Are you a better team with Provorov, Jarry, and Skinner as the 3? Or are you a better team with Nurse, Skinner, Pickard, and pick another $7 million option somewhere?
Yeah,
the $4 million option. $4 million option, maybe, whatever.
Well, yeah, you probably are with the extra player. Yeah, they've been to a couple of Stanley Cups, I hear.
Like, if Pittsburgh wants to talk about a Darnell Nurse deal, I would do Darnell Nurse for Erik Karlsson. Because then you're out of it quicker, and you still have the defenseman who can play. I mean, granted, he's not as good in his own end as Darnell Nurse is, but you're basically just going all in on being the Golden State Warriors and being offense. And you're going to get pucks to Connor and Leon, and you're going to kill teams in transition. But, like, you're out of the deal in 2 years. So, like, that makes sense to me. Trading him for Jarry makes no sense. And here's the other wrinkle I'll throw in it. Why would he waive his no movement clause to go to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, looking at the Penguins, obviously Karlsson would be the most appealing player.
I would attach a first, and I would try to get Rust in the deal.
Well, I was thinking, like, they have guys who are on, like, 3 years left in their deals. Like, Brian Rust, Raquel, another guy. Honestly, Thomas Novak, he only has 2 years. Like, a guy like Ryan Graves, who isn't good anymore. But I feel like those are the kind of guys you're probably going to have to look at if this was to ever come about, and I really don't think it will. Tristan Jarry, I would not touch. You just can't do that. That's like... You think Skinner and Pickard's a risk? That's a risk that you just are not in a position to take. Like, if they were like, hey, like, we'll give you Brian Rust and we'll retain $1 million on Graves and you have to take Nurse and we'll take Nurse. It's probably more what I would think.
But, like, here's where it's just not realistic. One, we talked about the TV's broken. We talked about and Mulek says no one wants Jarry. And yes, like, no one wants Jarry.
And we don't want him.
And I get that the people who are throwing out this deal also don't want him. But it doesn't solve your cap problem flipping Nurse for Jarry. Yes, you're out of it in 3 years, but you still need a goalie, and now you have a hole on your blue line. It doesn't fix your cap issue. It does not make you better for next season. And could you trade for Jarry and buy him out? I guess. How ugly is it? No, his buyout's okay. You would save 3.6. So you could get Jarry. But no, next year his cap hits $5 million. And then his 4.5 the year after that. The buyout sucks.
To be completely honest, if I was to trade Darnell Nurse, and again, I think Nurse he's obviously a decent player. Like, I think someone said it before. He's overpaid by like $3 million. Like, if he was $6 billion, you'd be.
And Tristan Jarry's overpaid by $4.5 million.
Yeah, You probably just want to trade him for a couple of picks and just have the cap space.
The Jari buyout sucks. Everyone stop saying it in the chat.
Yeah, like I almost just wouldn't want a player to come back unless they actually had some value to me. Like if it was like Brian Russ for Darnell Nurse, I might consider something.
I would
like
do that because you're out of it quicker and you're getting a quality player.
Yeah, but like
even if you had to attach,
it leaves a huge hole.
Even if you had to attach a future to it, I would attach a future to it.
Yeah.
Would I keep $4 million of Darnell Nurse to move him? No, that's lunacy.
No, and I would move Nurse if you could.
I would
just
too.
Wouldn't do it in a way that you lose the trade.
They're not trading Nurse for the 12th overall pick in the draft. And Darnell Nurse, why would he waive to go to Pittsburgh? Why would he do that?
Well, him and Kyle Dubas were in junior together. Tyler,
that's a good reason to
surely
uproot.
That means
that's
something.
a good reason to uproot your family and leave a Stanley Cup contender because you liked the GM in junior.
I also feel like the chat here, we're just kind of playing the hits again of Darnell Nurse sucks, which I get in the playoffs. Yes, Cup finals, it dwindled. Darnell was solid for 82 games of the regular season. Last year, up until the All-Star break, was good.
Remember the reverse CTE era after he got hit by Reeves?
Damn.
Special time. Look.
You got to, like, I get we keep making it the Cup final, but you got to go through 82 games first. Darnell helps you win 82 games.
Something I think a lot of people need to wrap their head around. You guys listen up. You're not part of this, but you can hear me out. Not every player that doesn't play for the Edmonton Oilers is better. But I know that might be a difficult concept for some of you to grab, but like every trade that is made, you can't look at it and be like, damn, the Oilers should have done that one. Or like when all these players sign on July 1st, you can't look at it all and be like, why didn't the Oilers just do that? It's like sometimes they're just not a fit.
It's part of the reason
they're also just not better.
It's part of the reason I'm almost in a way happy they have no assets because at least we didn't have to do 40 minutes today on should you have traded that package for Noah Dobson. Nurse has been dog shit in the playoffs 4 years in a row now, regardless of injury or D partner. And Naeem also asked, does he have any value as a pure cap dump? No. No competitive team is taking him off your hands for free, and he will only waive to go to a competitive team. My fidget today, by the way, has been this hockey puck.
He was actually much better in the playoffs this year than he was last year.
He was good early, got bad later.
Which also shows that like how good of a player he is in the sense of like if you get worse as the playoffs go on and it gets harder, that shows where you're at. Like Kane.
Yep.
But unfortunately, guys, a Twitter rumor was wrong.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.